Do you feel like there's so many acupuncture points and they all have similar functions? Well, today I'm going to look at the long channel and its 11 acupuncture points. And then I'm going to differentiate them to make them easy to learn and use in clinical practice. Let's do that. Hi, I'm Clara from AcuPro Academy, and I create acupuncture and Chinese medicine content for practitioners and students, making it easy to grasp and fun to learn. If you found this of value, please give me a like or even subscribe so you don't miss out on any future video. And now, let's rock it. Welcome back to my channel, and if it's your first time here, you're in for a treat. Today we're going to look at the long channel and its 11 acupuncture points, how to locate them, how to differentiate their function, and really everything that we need to know about this channel and its acupuncture point, but I make it easy to grasp and fun to learn. That's really my motto. I don't want to go in depth and complicate it. I want to make it easy for you to retain and to use in a clinical practice. I have lots of fun stuff in this video today, so let's get started. The long channel is a hand channel because it finishes at the hand. Any channel that finishes or starts at the hand is a hand channel. So the long is a hand channel, and it is, of course, a yin organ system and channel / meridian. I use back and forth channel and meridian, so don't shoot the messenger. That's the French in me. It is a Tai Yin channel. So yin because it is a yin organ system, the long, and it is Tai. Tai is often translated as greater yin meridian. It is mostly activated between 3 and 5 a.m. Those 2 hours kind of give us clues in our diagnosis. If someone wakes up at 4 a.m. every night and can't go back to sleep, maybe there is some issue with the long system in TCM perspective. Now, we're going to look at the pathway of the long meridian. Every meridian / channel has an internal branch and an external branch. So the internal branch is the one that connects to all the organs that it is going to be connected to and address issues of. And then the external branch is where all the acupuncture points are going to be located. So the acupuncture points, when you needle a point, it activates and connects to the internal branch to help the self-healing process, because acupuncture is all about self-healing. So what I love about the long channel is that it starts in the middle jiao. The middle jiao is spleen and stomach. And so the middle jiao means the digestive system. And in the 5 element theory, earth, which is spleen and stomach, generates the baby, which is the long and large intestinal metal. So earth generates metal, which means earth is the mother of metal, which means the digestive system is the mother of the long and large intestine, or the immune system. So in order to have a great immune system, we need a good digestive system. So that's their connection. That's why the long meridian actually starts in the middle jiao. It's that connection, right? And then it will go down to meet the large intestine, its yin-yang related organ system and channel. And then it will go back up through the long. Of course, all channels are bilateral, so I'm going in the middle, but technically it's on both sides because both channels are bilateral. It will ascend to the throat because it needs to address issues of sore throat. We'll see how many points do that, right? So it goes to the throat where the voice is also activated, which the lung relates to the voice as well, right? And then it will go back down to the chest where it is going to exit at the external branch at long 1. And so long 1 is going to be located on the chest, and that's the first point. Long 2 will be directly above. And then it's going to go down along the anterior aspect of the arm, right? So it's going to go down anterior aspect of the arm and going down. So we're going to have 3 and 4 on the upper arm. I will look at in detail locations after. I'm just going through the pathway of the meridian. And then it'll get to the elbow, which is long 5. On the forearm, we have long 6. Long 7 will be on closer to the wrist. And then we have 8 and 9, both at the wrist area. 10 on the palm, look at my beautiful palm. And 11 at the end of the thumb. So that gives you, obviously it is bilateral. I just started on this way and then finishes here because of my drawing and the space I have on that board. So we have 11 points there. And then we think, okay, the meridian pathway is over. No, there's always branches because it's more fun to make it. I always tell my students, you got no more stuff, more branches, more things to remember. So the long channel has a branch, and the branch starts at long 7. So long 7, just on the wrist area, we'll look at location in a minute, we'll start at long 7 and we'll go and finish at the index finger, where it will meet its yin-yang related meridian, the large intestine. So the branch starts at long 7, and when we get to long 7, we'll understand why it is starting at long 7, and goes along the dorsum aspect of the hand, the finger, and finishes at the index finger, where it meets large intestine 1, or where it meets the large intestine channel, where the large intestine channel starts. So let's recap that quickly. Starts in the middle jiao, goes down to the large intestine, up through the lung, to the throat, comes out at long 1 on the chest. Long 1 and 2 are both on the chest. We have 3 and 4 on the bicep area, 5 at the elbow, 6 on the forearm, 7, 8, 9 around the wrist area, 10 on the palm, and 11 on the thumb at the end. And then there's that branch from long 7 that finishes at the large intestine 1, which is at the tip of the index. And that's the pathway of the long meridian. The long channel has 11 points, and I wanted to give you a quick overview of all the special points from the front mu to the Jingwell. As you can see, although there's only 11 points on the channel, many special points. So we're going to go through all of them. Let's do this. First, we're going to look at the location of long 1 and long 2. So if you extend your arm forward, you're going to see the deltopectoral triangle. That's that little triangle here, that little dip, right? The clavicle is above, and you have your deltopectoral triangle. You can see the bundle here, like the ligament bundle. So long 2 is in the deltopectoral triangle, right here in this dip, and long 1 is going to be directly below. The description is 1 soon directly below long 2, but really it is directly below the bundle of the ligaments. So that's long 1 here, long 2 in the dip. Yes? Okay, let's look at their function. So long 1 and long 2 have the same function, but long 1 is a special point. It's the front mu point of the lung. What does that mean? It means that it is the best point for any lung disorders, any issue to the lung organ disorders. So asthma, COPD, chronic bronchitis, anything breathing issues that is affecting the lung, we want to use long 1. Best point for that. Long 3 and 4 are both located on the lateral side of the bicep. Remember that from the elbow crease to the anterior axillary fold is 9 sun, right? 9 sun measurement on the body measurement. So long 3 is located 3 sun below the anterior axillary fold, which means 1/3 of the way on that distance, right? And long 4 is located 1 sun below long 3, or 4 sun below the anterior axillary fold. And it is going to be, both of them, on the lateral edge of your bicep. So when you have your bicep here, it is going to be on the lateral edge. So it's still anterior, but it is on the edge, on the lateral side or the radial side of the bicep. Long 3 and long 4 mostly used locally for any issue locally. But I want to remind you that all points can be used locally for any musculoskeletal related issues. But that's what long 4 and long 3 are used for. Pretty simple, easy, done. So let's look at the location of long 5 to long 11. Long 5 is located at the elbow crease on the radial side of the biceps tendon, the biceps brachii tendon, right? Then if we look at long 9 is located at the wrist crease on the radial artery. So be careful, there's a big caution of the radial artery. The distance between long 5 and long 9 is 12 sun. 12 sun body measurement. And we're going to use that 12 sun to locate long 6. So long 6 is located 5 sun below long 5 on the line between 5 and 9. 5 sun below long 5 on the line between 5 and 9. Next, we can look at long 8. Long 8 is 1 sun above long 9. And you can use your own thumb for your own measurement, not for your patient's measurement, to kind of help you locate the 1 soon measurement. Okay? Now, long 7 is not on the line of the long meridian. It's actually more on the large intestine meridian. It's off the line and it's on the styloid process of the radius, but just above it, right on the edge. So long 7 is 1.5 soon above long 9, which can be used 2 fingers to locate 1.5 soon above long 9, but obviously by the styloid process. Then long 10 is located halfway of the first metacarpal bone on the palm, but closer to the edge of the bone on the palm, and that would be long 10. And long 11 is at the base of the corner of the nail on the thumb. And those are all the location of the points from long 5 to long 11. Long 5 is the Rossi point of the long. So it's a special point, and Rossi point are located at the elbow or at the knee, and they are very, very strong in their function because they have a lot of chi and a lot of blood. So the long 5 being the Rossi point of the long is the best point for any kind of cough, acute or chronic. Best point for cough, that's what we want to remember. Long 6 is also a special point. It is the chi clef point of the long, and the chi clef point specifically of the yin channels have function that relates to blood. So the chi clef point of the long, long 6, is the best point for coughing blood. So long 5 was the best point for cough, and long 6, best point for coughing blood. So putting them together, because they both clear heat, is a powerful tool when there is coughing blood. Long 7, boy, I love long 7. It is a special point 3 times over, so it's a powerful point. First and foremost, long 7's function is to strengthen the Wei Qi, the defensive Qi, or the immune system. And by the way, I have a little quick tip of the day for you on that. I hope you enjoyed that quick tip of the day. Long 7, stomach 36, and bladder 13, which is the back shu point of the long, are great points to strengthen the immune system and boost our Wei Qi, our defensive Qi. Now let's get back to long 7 being a special point. It is a luo connecting point, which means it connects the long to its related meridian, the large intestine. And we saw that when we looked at the long channel pathway. Remember, there was a branch starting from long 7, finishing at the index finger, connecting to the large intestine. And as you can see, long 7 is actually along the large intestine meridian pathway. It's not necessarily on the long meridian. It kind of gets and veer off the anterior part of the arm because it's such a good connection from the long to the large intestine. So it's a really good point to connect the two, which means you can use it for boosting immune system, but also for skin issues as well. That's a relationship of the long and large intestine in the 5 element. It is also the commander point of the head and neck. So anything happening on the head and neck, you have to use long 7. What can happen to the head and neck? Well, tension headache, occipital headache, anything, a migraine on one side of the head, anything that is going to be a headache, I would put large intestine 4 because it's the best point for pain and headache, and long 7, specifically when it happens on the head somewhere, because sometimes the headache can be frontal or orbital. Long 7 won't be useful for that. Large intestine 4 would, but not long 7. But anywhere else on the head, and specifically also the neck, or if there's whiplash or any neck issue, you want to put long 7 as part of your distal point to help address the issue in the area. The third special point is that long 7 is the Ren confluent point. So the Ren meridian, or the conception vessel, is really related to essence, kidney, and reproductive system. So long 7 being the confluent point of the Ren vessel makes it really powerful to balance hormones, specifically when it's combined with kidney 6 being the confluent point of the Yin Chao meridian. So kidney 6 and long 7 together, one at the ankle, one at the wrist, combined together are really good. I use that in my practice a lot for balancing reproductive hormone specifically. Long 8 is what I call a complementary point. I would not use it by itself, but is a complementary to your treatment. So for example, if you're trying to clear heat, specifically due to sore throat or asthma or skin rashes or cough, you could add up long 8 to complement. It is the Jing River point. So it is a special point. It's a Jing River point of the long meridian, but it's a complementary point to clear heat. So if you had someone with asthma, for example, due to excess heat, you would use long 1, the front mu point, and then you could use long 8. I probably would use long 7 as well because it does strengthen long qi as well. And asthmatic patients usually have long qi deficiency. Long 9, sometimes we forget about long 9 for some reason. It's underrated, but it's also a special point 3 times over, kind of like long 7, right? First of all, it is the yuan source point of the long, which means any deep-seated breathing issue for many years, such as asthma since childhood, you have to put long 9 because it is really going to be useful for deep-seated issues. That's the yuan source, the source qi, right? If there is difficulty in breathing from a long time, for example. The second thing is that it is also in charge of zong qi. So zong qi is the chest qi, is gathering qi. It's the qi that encompasses the heart and the lung and their relationship as a whole of breathing in oxygen and exhaling CO2. So that, having said that, it is also the influential point of the pulse and the blood vessels. So it is located at the radial artery, right? We have to watch and caution when you needle that point because it is right at the radial artery on the wrist crease. So what we want to do when we address or use this point is the relationship of lung and heart. So any issue with palpitation or emphysema due to smoking or people that have cardiovascular disorders and lung disorders together, that is the best point because it really strengthens the relationship of the lung and heart. And on top of it, because it is the shoestring point of the lung, it is strengthening the voice. So for people that have a weak voice or if they talk a lot, like teachers, people that talk for many hours and their voice is starting to be really depleting them, this is a really good point to help strengthen the voice as well. So long 9 is a powerful point. Are you enjoying my graphics so far? Well, you can find them all in my AcuPoint Made Easy, an illustrated guide to all acupuncture points, and so much more. The PDF version has a lot of video links. You can download it on your phone, your tablet, your computer, and have it at your fingertips at any time. It has a great table of contents. The hard copy ships all over the world if you're someone that loves to hold a book and really enjoy the colorful part of my graphics. You'll find them all exactly the same as the PDF in the hard copy book. The feedback has been amazing. As you could see here, so many people have just loved the book or the PDF or both. So what are you waiting for? Click the link below and get your copy today. Let's get back to what we're talking about today. Long 10 is my favorite point for sore throat. So this is one of the best points for sore throat. It is a yin spring point. So again, it's part of the 5 shu transporting point. And by the way, if you want to know more about the 5 shu transporting point, check out this video, click the link up there, and you'll find out all how to understand the Jing well, the yin spring, the Jing river, and the Hersi in the shoestring, right? That's my little bypass. Anyway, the long 10 point is the best point for sore throat. Any kind of sore throat, doesn't matter. You have to put this point. It is the best point. And that's all I have to say about that. The last point, but not least, of the long meridian, long 11. It is a Jingwall point, which means it's at the end of the toes or the fingers. And it is prick to bleed, meaning we usually don't needle that point. We prick to bleed with a lancet needle. The idea is prick to bleed Jingwa point is to relieve the pressure. So most Jingwa points are all going to be used for high fever, for manic disorders, right, or fainting. That's what they're all used for. But long 11 is also a ghost point. I love ghost points. They're so useful in clinical practice. And this specific ghost point is for breakup of a partnership that ends up really sour and where the the person is really angry about it. So it could be a nasty divorce where people are so upset, or a breakup of a business partnership where the person is really angry and upset. This is a really good point to calm down that anger that is feeling like someone tore you apart. So that's what this ghost point is all about. Quick review of all the long point. Long 1, front move point of the long for any long organ disorder. Long 2 does the same thing as long 1, but long 1 is stronger. 3 and 4 are going to be musculoskeletal related, so local point mostly. Long 5, best point for cough. Long 6, best point for coughing blood. Long 7, so many things to say, but strengthen your Wei Qi, your defensive Qi. Great to combine with kidney 6 to balance reproductive hormone. And it is also the commander point of the head and neck. So any neck or head issue, we want to put long 7. Long 8, very easy complementary point that clears heat for sore throat and asthma and any issue of the lung that has excess heat as a complementary point. Long 9 is again a big point because it is the influential point of the pulse and the blood vessels. It's also the yuan source point of the lung. So any deep-seated lung issues, like someone has had asthma since childhood, but also it is going to be in charge of the zong qi, the gathering qi, which means it is going to be great to have as a solidification between the lung and heart. So helping the heart function and the blood circulation, but also the lung function and their functions together as a whole in the upper jiao. Long 10, best point for sore throat, and long 11 is a Jinghua point, as regular Jinghua point, fever, what was I going to say? Fainting, manic behavior, but also it is a ghost point, so it is great for partnership breakup that results in anger. And that's how we make very quickly all the long points into a quick review. I hope you enjoyed the content today and found a lot of value into it. Please subscribe so you do not miss out on any future videos, and watch those two here to have more content for you to enjoy and absorb. Have a fantastic day, and no matter what, keep rocking it using TCM.